Okay, gentlemen, this is my lap guide of Road America for the GT4. I made this during the SCCA runoffs. Very good, by the way, I really like this car track combination. So let's talk about setup first. So what I did, I'm not very experienced with setups on iRacing, so I went pretty simple. So I went for the sprint open, and then what I did is I made the anti-roll bar, the rear anti-roll bar setting to 1, just to give it a bit more oversteer, and wing setting to 4. I tried this at 3 initially, but it's a bit too nervous, to be honest. Even at 4, it's pretty nervous. Like, you're gonna have to be on your toes if you want to run this setup, to be honest. It's through the corners, it's quite nervous. Then I put brake bias to 54.6 and ABS to 8 and TC to 10. I reckon you could run ABS higher, as in a higher value, but that means lower intervention. Okay, so let's get to the lap. Let me just switch camera, cockpit. Okay, cool. Okay, so this lap was a 2:13.945. I did get an off track in, I think, turn 2. Forgive me, I don't know the name for it. But the previous lap was completely clean, and that was a 2:14.03. Which, if we look on the iRacing schedule for the SCCA runoffs, that would definitely be a very fast lap if you could do that. Obviously, race is different. But if you got that in a race, you'd probably be looking at, a third place. These people are just absolute aliens or running an insane setup. There's no in between. I don't know what they're doing. I'm not that experienced with setups, so maybe they're running some different setup. Maybe they're running a lower wing, but then also less aggressive mechanical grip setup. So maybe a lower rear anti-roll bar, blah 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 blah, all that sort of jazz. But anyway, let's get to the lap. So come into this corner. I hit 6th gear, I think. Yeah, so I think I shifted into 6 here, but usually it's 5. So we look for the second pair of cones, so where there's 3 cones, and we start to brake there. It's not a very hard brake, it should be like 60%, 70% maybe. And we want to get down into 3rd gear, and I'm not going to lie, I did this corner wrong for a very long time, to be honest. I sort of over-prioritise my exit speed, and I think I still do it a little bit. I think if you take a faster corner and just get a nice balanced corner, so don't sacrifice too much exit speed, but don't sacrifice too much mid-corner speed, minimum speed, I think you'll gain lap time. Because on my optional best, there was this one time when I took the corner and I took it really balanced, and that was the fastest time, but I only lose, I lose 400 of a second on this lap to my optional burst. And we're looking for just early apex. I sort of aim for the start of this curb. We can actually dip our wheels just a little bit on the grass, not too much though, because it will try and spit you out. It's quite a fast trail brake, so brake to your peak pressure, which is around 60%, and then we want to release quite quickly. For turn 2, we can brake really late here. I've seen, because I was trying to watch a lap guide before this for this track, and everyone was doing like 2:16s, but I think that's with different conditions, fixed setup maybe. I don't know why it's so slow compared to what people are running. Either I'm Max Verstappen, which I'm not, or people are just very slow, but I don't really know. So for this corner, we want to brake after this. It's sort of in between. We'll go to oh my word. Oh yeah, we're on chase. Okay. We'll go to this camera and then I'll rewind. I'm going to show the cockpit camera, but it's basically I brake just before this one board, which might place me in between them both. Yeah, so it places me in between. So cockpit view. Let's rewind. There. As soon as this sort of is next to me, I'd start to brake. I mean, it's not a very hard. We don't want to activate ABS at all in this corner. That'll literally throw away 3/10. I'm not even joking. We want to maximise the corner exit here, but also don't over slow for this corner. That's a big mistake that people make, and even I made at first. We want to just a nice corner, but also prioritize exit because we have a very long straight coming up. Attack this curb, run it out as far as you can. I think this is where the off track was, but we just don't want to get our wheels on the grass or too much on the grass. We want them just a little bit on the grass. And there we go. We got on power really early there, before we're straightened up or anything. Because especially in the Merc, the throttle really helps rotate, so we can really use it to our advantage. Yeah, that was my off track, and you can see that I get a bunch of oversteer. This setup wants to kill you all the time. Okay, so for this corner, we can sort of dive in early here, prematurely, and we want to brake before the 2 board, shift down into second, and we want to really prioritize our cornering speed through this for the next corner. It's second gear. We want to prioritize cornering speed, brake late, and also a thing that I didn't mention, and I didn't really realize till not too long ago, is you can basically smash the curb on the right and really get your car over as far possible on the right. I haven't really experimented with exploiting it. I reckon you could take out more than what I'm doing, but just for safety, I know that this will works for me. Like, I never get an off track in this corner. So we cut, we look for the 2 board, we brake before it, then we attack this right curb. Yeah, I could definitely use more here. I think if you have at least 2 wheels on this curb here, you'll be within track limits. So this is why I also do these videos. I know that they're not great, but bear with me, because when I'm teaching someone, I spot the most mistakes in my driving. So this is also why I do them. Let's smash this corner and get on the throttle early. This corner, brake just before the bridge or just at the crest. We sort of want a light brake pressure, and then release ever so slightly once we get on top of the crest, because the car becomes unweighted. If you think about when you go over a speed bump in your car, there's a moment where you jump up, right, and then you come back down. There's a very small period of time where you're weightless, and so is the car. So we want to release the brake pressure and just shift down into second and get a good run out of the corner. Track limits here. Do not touch any part of this gravel here or the grass. For this corner, I reckon you could maybe take it flat out, but for safety and consistency, I would just do a little lift. So we can still keep on the throttle, but like, let's say we use 80% throttle instead of 100%, so it's not completely flat out. You could. I didn't in this lap. At least I don't think I did, because it's just very inconsistent. Sometimes you might get an off track, sometimes your car oversteers and you spin out. It's just not worth the extra, hundredths of a second, something like that. So just lift ever so slightly, get the car nicely balanced throughout the corner. This corner is a very oversteery corner. We want to attack this curb, but try not to use the grass, because that can really suck you in, and then you can get some oversteer. This corner is, for me, it's one of the most tricky corners on the circuit. Why, you might ask? There's a lot that you need to think about. You want to prioritize your run out of it, because you have bridge bend, which is a very long right-hander, which is a spicy one. We'll get onto it. So we want to attack the curb on the left, but we also want a good run out. So what I've done, what I do, I go into like a second gear, but still I see the rev. When I see the rev counters, see the lights on the dashboard, as long as I see some lights, that's when I know I'm taking it at the right speed. So let's say only the green lights. That's when I know I haven't overslowed. If there's no lights, that means I've overslowed. So you want a nice balanced corner throughout this, because if there's someone behind you though, by all means, overslow, get him to brake more, and then prioritize the good exit. That's just defending. And that's a very powerful defense, because of the next corner. They can't really overtake you in bridge corner. It's a death sentence to both of you, to be honest. So brake just before the second. There's a second marker right here. shift down into second, and just get the car rotated, get on the throttle early, help let the throttle rotate the car. Forgot to mention this right curb here, do not take it. Okay, so this is honestly a very nice but also disgusting corner because it kills you, it wants to kill you. The car is trying to murder me in here. It actually should get sentenced to death right here because it just tries to kill me every time without failure. So we want to basically full throttle for a long period of time, but just stay in third. Do not go into fourth because you'll under rotate and you'll understeer. Do not want that. Just stay in third. Just keep the revs high. Then we'll run out the car. There's a certain timing to it. I don't really have a reference point to where you run the car out wide. I think there's a little gravel patch actually. You run the car out wide purposely, and then you come back in to prioritize the exit. As you can see, it's shifted to fourth. I noticed the mistake and I shifted to third. Do not go into fourth here, trust me. But as you can see, we're really like staying on the power throughout the corner. And you can see the car just trying to kill me. This, honestly, I could have taken this better in this lap. We want to run out the car just slightly wide, so then we really get a good exit. If you run out the car wide, if the car is trying to oversteer on throttle, once you see your exit, then you can short shift into fourth and you will not lose lap time and you'll save your tyres and they'll thank you and you won't overheat and spin. So run the car wide. I'll go through another lap after this one. If you really are struggling with this corner, you can watch it because I think I did it better in the other lap. But this lap was, it lost me about a tenth of a second. So yeah. This corner, flat sometimes. I don't really know why it is. Maybe when you get a better exit out the last corner, you get it worse. You have to lift a little bit for this corner. I don't know if there's any truth to that, and maybe it's just like my inconsistent turning point. But we want to turn in. We want to aim for basically the start of this right curb. We can touch the grass a teeny bit, but do not get over ambitious with it. So I did take it flat in this run, yes I did. Run the car out wide, then we're going to cut this as much as possible. Then we brake in between the fourth and the 4 board and the 3 board. We want to brake a little bit more early for this corner. We want to just have the car balanced so we can get on the throttle like early, not sacrifice much minimum speed. I've experimented on this corner. We can either take second or third, but for me second's worse because we can't get on the power as aggressively. And to be honest, letting the car, if you can just smash the power down right in third gear, you're most likely going to get a better lap time than trying to feel out because you have reaction time. Think about it. It's most likely going to be faster, so I'd recommend just staying in third and just smashing the power. Take this inside curb, and then as soon as we hit it, smash the power down. This corner on this setup, not flat. Reason why is because it's too unstable. We hit this left curb, we sort of want to graze it. Don't like absolutely monster truck it, but just graze it nicely and just let the car rotate for you, because if you take this flat, in my experience, the car can get really unsettled. It wants to snap on you and then you lose, and then it sort of messes up your next corner, the right hander, like the last corner that comes after it. And if you mess up that corner, you have a humongous straight that you're going to lose a lot of time. So I recommend just a lift for this, just like you can even do a 50% lift, it doesn't really matter. Just make sure you don't F it up. I'm not going to swear. Make sure you don't F it up because you don't want the long straight to be messed up at all. We want that corner to be perfect, as close to perfect as possible. It's a very crucial corner. Then We can use this. It won't give us an off track, but we don't want to hit the grass. That was right there. So I brake as soon as the second ball comes out the way, and yes, I've just spotted another mistake in my driving, overlapping my inputs. So thank you, I need to work on that. So going to third gear for this corner, I wouldn't do second, it just overslows you. And just aim to ride this curb and just maximize the exit speed. And then we can run it nice and wide out here. Boom, that's a lap. It's yeah, I love this circuit personally. I think it's criminally underrated. Right, let's go to lap 3. Then we'll skip. Okay, so I think this is the lap where I sort of wash it out wide purposely so you can see the actual line through it. You can see there, massive bit of oversteer. I could have washed it out wide a little bit more, but you don't want to get too wide because then you overslow and then you lose mid-corner speed. So what I'm trying to say is that this corner you'll probably find the trickiest corner, and it's for good reason, because it's not flat. It's like you don't want to brake for it. You also can't just. You have to really keep focus on the balance of the car. You want to prioritize exit speed, but you also want to keep your minimum speed up. So it's a tough corner. If you can get this corner right, you basically unlock the key to this track. But the last corner is very also important. Just for this track, maximize exit speeds, maximize mid-corner speeds. Don't overslow. But like, it's a very tricky track, not gonna lie. When I first drove this track, I thought it was very easy. I was like, it's literally just a straight. It's like Monza, but it's actually very technical. It's extremely technical, especially if you're learning how to trail brake. I learned trail braking on this specific circuit because it's so trail brakey, if that even makes sense. As in the second corner, first corner, you have fast trail braking, you have slow trail braking, you have release over crests. Like, it's very good to learn on. So I'd recommend this car track combination. So that is a lap, a 2:13.945. I'm very happy with that lap, not gonna lie. I know it's not the fastest. I'd never claimed to be the fastest, but I'm happy with it because I'm relatively new to Iracing still. So I hope this has helped someone. Obviously, I don't, as you can see, I don't have many views, but I don't do these for views. I just do this because I know what it's like to be slow, as I was for quite a while, and just looking for some maybe help of like someone who's not the best, someone who's not an alien who tells you everything that's easy. It's not an easy track. It's not an easy car, especially when you run low downforce because it's so jittery. So just keep practicing. If you find yourself in a plateau, just relax. Like, just relax your hands, pretend you're driving every day. My circuit to Lieutenant lap, my fastest lap, I did that by talking on the phone to my friend. So clearly, relaxation can help with lap times, even though it's counterintuitive as it sounds. So thank you for watching. Hope this helps. I'll see you next time.